Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. Many non-select men are in relationships. Now, I wanted to be very clear about that. You know, the other week, somebody was asking me what I thought about the 80-20 rule. And I just responded to him. I just said, most men get some form of sex and everything. Because I know usually when people talk about the 80-20 rule, it's that feeling that 80% of women are chasing 20% of men. And you know, you can kind of say that if you're going to say, yeah, the 20%, those are the alphas, those are Chaz, Tyrone's, Chang's, Rico's, whatever, or select men, like that. You could say that, like 20. I put the number more at 30 personally. And you could say that if you're saying, okay, those are the men that they consider most attractive. But the reality is the men who are not those things, the men who are in the other 80%, most of them, let me emphasize the word most of them, are still getting sex at some time, some type of sex, even relationships. Most of them. Now, why would I say that? Okay, I want y'all to really think about these things. Here's the issue. Really think about it. Okay, you got a small percentage of the population women will see as select, see as alpha, see as the 20%, see as Chad and Tyrone. Only a small percentage. And you know, different people have different percentages. It's just smaller than the rest. One, there's only so many of them. Two, and this is the most important thing, men who are on that level will go for the most attractive women. I would say starting 7 and going up. That's just the reality. If a man got it like that, he got all these women chasing him, interested, think he attractive, he's not settling. He's going for the best he can possibly get. He's going for the dimes. Those what men at that level, they chasing the icons, the beautiful women. They going to, because they can get them. You know, the lowest, the possible lowest they'll go is a 6. The possible lowest. And even then, she got to bring some stuff to the table. She got to bring stuff to the table. Some cases, I mean, she going to have to click personality-wise with her. Her sex got to be the bomb. And when I say 6, an adjustable 6, meaning when she put on some makeup or something, she can go to an 8. So that's the lowest, possible lowest. And I'm saying that's a special circumstance. Usually the lowest, the top men are going to go for is a 7, the lowest. And that's already above average. All right. What happens to the rest of these women? Think about it for a second. Mr. Goodbar, the masked man, alpha male, Chad Tyrone, ain't messing with them below a certain level. But those women are still there. And these women are still the majority of women. These women are the majority. They still want to be in a relationship. They still want to have sex. They got a deal. Yes, they might fantasize about the top guys, might want them. But, well, it's two things with that. One, they probably, if they even in the presence of that man's not going to want them. Those top men ain't going to want them. Two, a lot of those women simply ain't going to meet those top men. Like when I talked about, now people know when I talk about select and non-select, in the select group, I talk about 2 types. Mr. Goodbar, that's the guy with the raw sex appeal. And then the masked man, that's the guy who looks good. Now he had to be a masked man, a man has to look good. That looks, money, and status thing applies to him. You know, like I said, I've never said looks, money, and status don't work somewhat, but it has to be included with the looks. It has to be included with the looks. You can't get past that. You can't, for the masked man, basically he has to look good on paper, literally look good. So he got to have body game. He got to be conventionally handsome at the very least, or what some women call husband cute. And he has to have those resources. You know, he has to have that power. like that. Men like that, first of all, they make fun of lower class women. They make fun of a woman who ain't looking right, and they in a different environment. Okay, so cut them, and then the guys with the raw sex appeal, shoot, those beautiful women, they still horny, so they want their turn, and some of those men even become diesel types, like maybe a male exotic dancer or a gigolo or something. So they only mess with women if they do dip down. That woman better have a lot of money. But when it's like just a regular guy and stuff, he look that good, who he going for? He going for the fine women. The rest of the women, yeah, they might fantasize about the top guys, but they gotta deal with that bum dude or something, or that lower class dude. Now they still want that other guy. They still fantasize, but they ain't gonna get him. So they gotta make do with what they got. So even though that guy is still generally non-select, he doesn't have like those, he don't have those looks. He don't have that raw sex appeal. They still want somebody, and they will deal with them. And then another factor, I don't get into this as much. You got some women, they want a man they can control. Some women, they can't control a select man, because a select man can just be like whatever. They can't control him. They can control a non-select man who don't have that much going for him. There's a lot of women, believe it or not, there's a lot of women out there basically dealing with a bum. And indeed, when you look at the group of women, like all these ain't fine women. Like I said, think about it. If you get these women, they ones and twos, and they living in a poor area, they might be they unattractive, living in a poor area, so they don't have access to the top men anyway, and might even have some mental health issues. People keep forgetting, like if you in some poor areas or something like that, you're going to see it. They just going to deal with who they can get with. So you get a lot of women who might be dealing with that bum who's walking up and down. Or you get a lot of women, they might work with that guy at that low, at that discount store. They just want something, they're gonna deal with them. It don't mean the man is select. Also, another aspect of the whole select, non-select thing is how they treat it. See, one thing, a select man, the woman is gonna put him on a pedestal. But then you get some women, they'll just get that guy just because they just need something. They going to be wearing the pants. Like I said, that control thing. So like you said, like I've said before, I don't like it when I see a man walk behind a woman, because that means she's in control. And I don't mean in a protective way either. Like she's walking ahead. She's being the boss, and he's just there. And if you out and about enough, you probably seen that. Some people call them simping or something. That's accurate. A simp ain't select. A simp is not select. But you get that a dude and he look like he shouldn't be in it or something. Or another type of relationship you might see with a non-select dude. He with that woman, but that woman is she's an acculturated prostitute, or as the Honorable Pimp God would say, an acceptable hoe. So only way they still together, not that he's paying her money straight up for sex, but he paying bills, something like that. He's buying all this stuff for her, and she gonna still reward him or something, but to her, he's non-select, because a select man, don't have to pay. Even the masked man, yeah, he got some money and status, but he don't have to pay. That's more about the lifestyle that the woman is interested in than his direct money. It's more about the lifestyle. So even he don't have to pay. But if it's a man, he just, working a regular job or something like that, he's going to have to wine and dine it. He's going to have to put up with a lot of bull. Also in the bedroom, the man's having sex. A non-select man's getting sex, but he ain't getting her best. Like the select man, he's getting he's getting the thongs. He's getting no crotch underwear. She's doing all the freaky stuff in the bed. The non-select man, yeah, he gonna get sex because the woman, she got that itch. But he's getting the granny panties. Shoot, she going to bed with a face mask on. She got her bonnet on and everything. She going to bed like that. He's not getting the best from her. but he's still in it. And there's a lot of relationships like that. Like when people talk about sexless marriages and stuff, sexless marriages mean they have sex less than 12 times a year. It's not constant, but they still having sex. They still in a relationship, you know? But that dude is still non-select. She ain't treating him well. And that's the best. If you want to break it down, whether you select or non-select, ask yourself, how do women treat you? Are they making you do all the work? You got to do all this? Or they handing it to you? They handing it to you. And the reality is only a small, you know, a smaller percentage of men get it handed to them like that. Only a smaller percentage. So what's happening is the women got to deal with what they can get. Like, let me reiterate this part. When you talk about, people talk about that 80% of women chasing 20% of men. When that 20% is looking at that 80%, the reality, I'm saying at best 30% might be 30%. I'm saying at best 30% might be acceptable to those men. And I'm being extremely generous. So what happens to the other 50% and then the other 20%? You know, what happens to the other 70% of those women? They got to take what they can get. So always understand that. And even then, you know, they're going to make the man work still and everything. But unfortunately, we live in a culture that, quite frankly, is a trick culture. Old school pimps would call this a trick culture. So a lot of guys doing some tricking, they doing something, they putting a woman on the pedestal and stuff. Yeah, they getting a woman, they just ain't getting her best. And if a woman do get a shot at like one of those top men, they might take it. But only then they already know, oh, it's just a quick hit, because that top man is looking for the best women. And the only way that lower woman is going to even get him, oh, she might have to come out of pocket. I've talked about low rent gigoloing before. So always understand that. It's just, and if anybody doubt that, just ask look, go outside. Go to any crowded place. You don't only see a few men walking around with a woman. You'll see a few men walking around with a fine woman. You know, one of those 8 to 10s. But mostly everybody walking around, you're going to see a lot of couples, a lot of families, whatever. Just ask yourself, take a good look at the woman. Is she all that? At best, she might have a good body, and I'm saying at best. So they got to deal with who they can get, even if the guy's non-select. It's a sad thing, but it is what it is. But they still getting into relationships, though I wouldn't call them premium relationships, or, you know, they still getting sex, even though it might be once a week. All right. They not getting the best, I'll put it like that. But they still getting something. So anyway, that's all I have for today. Get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.